Bolcheliki, PhD manchild. I'm gonna attempt to make curry with just whatever the fuck I can find in my house. I have potatoes. Gotta light some incense. We'll cook it down in a simmer to almost a consistency of mashed potato. It's been boiling for hours. You can tell how cooked potato is just by not sticking to a knife when it's getting stabbed. If we were to mash this, it would just turn to paste. We'll keep it as is. Chop up some onion. Chop that shit into coarse chunks. Now drain the water and put a cup. I might put a second cup. I'm going to let that simmer. A lot of this mass is going to break down. Now you don't want it too powdery, but we need some powders. Curries and turmerics. Curry is a blend of spices, gives you that colour and taste. I've got some very hot curry, spoon it out, half a spoon of just a mulled curry to give it more flavour. Turmeric is a root plant that gives a lot of colour, as antioxidants, bunch of health properties in the colder months, good for your joints and stuff. You can Google that, I don't care. Salt, vegeta, which is a bunch of dried vegetable elements, some powder, onion, some allspice, a touch of nutmeg. Mix it all together to have a flavour for a couple of litres worth of that. And for just an extra element and layer of a long-lasting taste, almost like a licorice sense, I'm going to put in a couple of cloves of aniseed, which is a pretty interesting thing to fuck around with when you have a lot of different taste profiles. Blending these spices, there's a lot of tutorials and whatnot. Just try something, buy a powder, mix it in something that you cook very regularly, see how it tastes, if you like it or not, intensity, and you can slowly incorporate it in your cooking. As you expand things from, the basics of onion powder and allspice, you can bring in more and more stuff like cumin or nutmeg or whatnot. Real gangsters chuck in a spoon or two of minced garlic or a garlic ginger blend. You can put a little oil, you can put a little, for an extra fatty or greasy element, you can put some oil, you can put some ghee, which is very similar to butter. And as it's practically just water and solid, what I'm hoping to do is turn it into a thickened mash. And some curries are cooked with coconut cream or cream. Some are just overly cooked peas or lentils until it turns into a mash. And the last curry I cooked with lentils was pretty damn good. Fresh French lentils from grocery joints. And we'll just let that simmer for like fucking who knows how long. I want those onions to shrink a bit. Just try a bit of this slurry. It's alright. It's got a bit of a hit, bit of spice. I think I'm going to amp up the garlic a bit more to have a heavier spice bite. No reason why you can't put in powdered or fresh chilies, but I'm not going to spice it until it's finished and everything has come out. Sorry, star anise. I forgot that. Threw that in. Scoop it out when you're done cooking it in. You don't want someone taking a bite out of it and having a shitty experience. I'm going to let this simmer for many hours. Almost like a soup or a stew, something like that. To activate turmeric, which I forgot, you need at least a pinch of pepper to mix the enzymes or cells or whatever the fuck, atoms. I'm using white pepper, 2 pinches. Serious warning for anyone with women in the family. If you have any white enamel countertops, sponges, anything, you're going to get your head beaten. I'm single, my own house, I don't give a fuck. Yeah, rape sponges and stuff. It just occurred to me that this shit would be perfect in a crock pot. Slow cook. even days. Fuck. As it slowly simmers down, I'm gonna mix in some minced beef. Yes, beef in true Slavic style. When you make cevaps, you add pork just to upset the Ottomans. I don't want to upset India. Those guys are cool. So let's call it a Japanese curry. Ah, fuck, those guys are racist as well. The beef is slowly cooking down. I'll let it go for a couple of more hours, just for a bit more of a creamier sensation, chucked in a dollop of ghee. We did a taste test, and the flavours are very mild to near non-existent. So we're bumping up a lot of the key ingredients by 25% to boost it a bit. We've reached an ideal chunky texture. We're going to turn it off as to not burn the bottom. We're going to just let it sit out in the open overnight, cool down, and just set and let all the juices sort itself out. Tomorrow we'll reheat it to apply on some bread, roti or whatnot. We have allowed it to sit overnight, so it's been like this for 12 hours, and it's almost a thick gelatinous consistency, kind of like a chili con carne, and has a very rich taste, pretty nice, spice, lingers long, not bad at all. All of this kicked off by buying a pack of frozen roti from an Indian grocery store on an absolute whim, random purchase. And normally I buy pre-made roti, but the interesting thing about these ones is they're individually plastic wrapped for separation, and it's raw frozen. Meaning once you cook it on the fire, it's as fresh as you made it yourself from scratch. Comes out all raw and weird. You want to crisp it up before you flip it. If you happen to snap it while it's frozen, as it's cooking you can kind of meld it together so it's not ruined. Once it's crispy on both sides, it's good to come out. Bit of Indian pickles, went for the sweet and sour, some curry. Don't know if it's traditional, but I've been enjoying eating it in a roll, or you have a manda curry and dip with the bread. There we go, food for days. Looks pretty good, smells pretty good. Gonna have to try one. That's pretty awesome, man. Highly recommended. Curry roti experiment. Definitely adding that to the repertoire. Peace the fuck out. Catch you guys later. The beautiful thing about this dish was very cheap to reproduce. And when I get some lentils, it's almost food for free, man. Can't beat it.